The rumor that felt like a whisper just blew up into something that could reshape a chunk of the grid, and honestly, you should care whether this is a comeback, a power play, or both. Right now, the story is simple to frame. Perez, after a rough end to his Red Bull chapter, reportedly has a seat lined up at Cadillac for 2026 alongside Valtteri Bottas, and that move carries more than just a seat. It carries money, experience, and a storyline about vindication. Think about what that means for a second. Red Bull moved on. Public opinion swung hard against Perez during the car's decline, and younger teammates didn't exactly make the transition look easy either. So this leak does two things at once. It gives Perez a clean runway to prove he can still compete away from Red Bull's shadow, and it hands Cadillac a known quantity backed by serious sponsorship potential. For you as a fan, that's interesting because it's not just driver drama. It's about how teams will be built in the new era, where engines and battery power matter more than ever. Perez isn't just bringing driving talent. Sources in the transcript point to significant financial backing that could follow him. That kind of money can accelerate a newcomer team's development, especially when Cadillac plans to introduce its own power unit later in the decade. Now, I don't want to overhype this into an instant championship story. Cadillac will likely start in the midfield, but picture this: a well-funded customer team with experienced race winners and a focused development plan could be the most dangerous kind of disruptor. Quick vote for the comments. Do you think Perez can prove Red Bull wrong? Yes or no? Also, if you want more breakdowns like this, and you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us. Help us grow and reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers so we can bring you deeper analysis and exclusive takes. I'll dive next into what really went wrong at Red Bull and whether the criticism Perez received was fair or misplaced. But before that, drop your quick take in the comments and vote so I can feature the best answers in the next video. When we talk about Sergio Perez's time at Red Bull, it's easy to just remember the headlines about underperformance and inconsistency, but the full picture is way more complex than that. At first, Perez looked like the perfect number 2 driver. He delivered key wins, including memorable ones like Monaco, and he played the team role brilliantly when asked to hold up rivals for Verstappen's championship fight. But then came the drop-off, and suddenly all eyes were on him, as if he alone was the problem. The truth, as the transcript suggests, is that Red Bull's car became increasingly tailored to Verstappen's style, and when younger drivers like Lawson and Tsunoda also struggled to adapt, it raised the obvious question: was it really Perez, or was it the philosophy of the car itself? That's the kind of detail that often gets buried under the noise of race day criticism. Perez had 6 career wins, countless podiums, and the rare honor of becoming vice champion for Red Bull in 2023, something even Mark Webber, one of the best number 2s of all time, couldn't achieve during Red Bull's golden era. But instead of being remembered for that, fans and media locked onto his P8 finish the following season. You and I both know how brutal F1 can be when it comes to perception. Confidence drops, mistakes follow, and before long the narrative is set in stone. Yet it's worth asking, was Perez's fall at Red Bull a product of his own shortcomings, or was he simply the wrong fit for a car built around Verstappen's precision-heavy style? Personally, I think the answer lies somewhere in between, but it's clear that Red Bull didn't do him many favors by refusing to adapt the machinery for both drivers. Here's a question for you. What's the one moment that changed your opinion about Perez? At Red Bull, was it a heroic drive, or was it a mistake that stuck with you? Drop it in the comments, because I'd love to see how fans like you remember his time there. And while you think about that, quick yes or no vote. Was Red Bull right to move on from Perez, or did they act too soon? Let me know below. And hey, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and enable notifications. Your subscription is very important to us. and it helps us push toward our goal of 1,000 subscribers so we can keep building this F1 community. Up next, I'll break down why the Cadillac deal isn't just about Perez's talent behind the wheel. It's about money, influence, and long-term strategy. Now let's get into what really makes this Cadillac move fascinating, because it isn't only about what Perez can do on track. This deal, if confirmed, is powered by something just as valuable as driving skill in Formula One: money and influence. Perez has long been supported by Carlos Slim, one of the wealthiest men in the world, and his companies like Telmex and Telcel have followed Perez everywhere he's gone. According to multiple reports, that financial backing is worth around $30 million, and you and I both know how big that is for a new team trying to make its mark. Cadillac, entering as a customer of Ferrari, needs resources, stability, and credibility, and Perez brings all three. It's not just sponsorship logos on the car, it's the ability to fund early development, expand operations, and even push towards their ultimate goal of building their own power unit by 2029. That kind of backing can change a team's growth curve completely. Think about it like this. Most new entries in F1 face a brutal uphill climb because money dries up, expectations crash, and sponsors disappear if results don't come quickly. But Cadillac would start on the grid with two experienced drivers, Perez and Bottas, both race winners, both respected veterans, and a cash injection strong enough to buy time. That's rare, and it's why Perez makes so much sense for them. Sure, critics will say that a seat bought with sponsor money isn't the same as one purely earned, but here's the reality. Every F1 team needs money to survive, and when a driver brings both funding and proven results, that's a massive win. I want to throw this one at you. Do you think money should matter when teams pick their drivers, or should it be purely about performance? Vote in the comments. Performance, money, or both? I have a feeling most fans will say both, because in modern F1 it's impossible to separate the two. And don't forget, Cadillac isn't entering just for the short term. They'll rely on Ferrari engines at the start, but every dollar of Perez's sponsor backing could be fueling the development of Cadillac's own engine project for 2029. Imagine the storyline if Perez is still there to help launch a fully American power unit program. That would be a massive full-circle moment. But even if he isn't, the foundation he's laying right now could shape the team for years. That's why this deal is so important, not just for Perez, but for Cadillac's credibility in F1. If you're enjoying this breakdown, take a second to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your subscription really helps us grow, and we're pushing hard toward 1,000 subscribers. Your support makes it possible. Next, I want to dive into what all this means under the 2026 regulations, where engines and battery systems take center stage and where Cadillac might actually stand compared to Red Bull. Now let's talk about the big picture, 2026. This isn't just another season, it's a complete reset for Formula One, with new regulations that put engine efficiency and battery systems at the heart of performance. That's where things get really interesting for Cadillac. As a Ferrari customer, they'll start with one of the most proven power units in the sport. Ferrari has built a reputation for producing strong, reliable engines. And if they carry that form into the new rule set, Cadillac could enter F1 already ahead of teams like Red Bull, who are rumored to face serious struggles with their new power unit project. That flips the script, doesn't it? Red Bull, the team that once dominated, may suddenly be fighting in the midfield, while a newcomer like Cadillac could be right there with them. Of course, expectations for a customer team have to be realistic. You and I both know Cadillac won't show up in 2026 and instantly fight Verstappen for wins. But a solid midfield position, consistent points finishes, and maybe even a shock podium, that's the kind of start that would feel like a victory. And with Perez and Bottas leading the charge, Cadillac has a driver lineup that isn't about raw youth or hype. It's about experience and dependability. Both drivers have spent their careers in the shadows of superstars. Verstappen for Perez, Hamilton for Bottas, and now they'll finally get the chance to take initiative in a new project. That dynamic will be fascinating to watch. Who do you think comes out on top in that partnership? Perez or Bottas? Drop your vote in the comments. The other layer to this is how Red Bull fits into the new picture. If their engine really is as problematic as early projections suggest, then losing Perez might sting twice as hard. Imagine Perez and Bottas scoring midfield points for Cadillac while Red Bull fights reliability issues. That would feel like poetic revenge, wouldn't it? And Perez, fueled by all the criticism he endured, would have every reason to go wheel to wheel with Red Bull just to prove a point. That's the emotional hook of this story. Cadillac doesn't need to beat Verstappen to make noise. They just need to consistently challenge the second Red Bull car and outperform expectations. That alone would send a message. Quick prediction poll for you. Do you think Cadillac can score a top 5 finish in 2026? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. And before we close this chapter, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support is vital as we push toward 1,000 subscribers, and it helps us bring you fresh analysis after every major update. Coming up, let's tie all of this together and look at what Perez's new chapter really means for his career, for Red Bull, and for F1 fans like you. So what does all of this really mean? For Sergio Perez, this Cadillac chapter could be the ultimate chance at vindication. After years of being criticized, doubted, and labeled as a number 2, he suddenly has a platform to show that he still belongs in Formula One, not as someone hanging on, but as someone helping build a team from the ground up. For Red Bull, letting him go might not seem like a big deal right now, but if Perez and Cadillac start stealing points in the midfield, that decision will look very different. It would highlight how much of Perez's struggles were tied to the car and the environment, not just his abilities as a driver. And for you as a fan, it means a brand new storyline to follow, one that isn't about the usual front-runner battles, but about how an underdog team with experienced drivers and strong financial backing can shake up the grid. That's what makes F1 so addictive. You never quite know when the balance of power might shift. The question is, can Perez really prove Red Bull wrong in the long run? Or will this just be a short flash of revenge before Cadillac moves on to younger talent? I want to hear what you think. Will Perez still be in F1 after 2027, proving his critics wrong? Or do you believe this is just his final chapter? Vote yes or no in the comments and share your reasoning. I'll be checking and featuring the best takes in upcoming videos. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us, and with your help, we're aiming to hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Also, give this video a like if you enjoyed the breakdown. It really helps us reach more fans like you. Stick around, because our next video dives even deeper into the shifting balance of power under the 2026 regulations, and you won't want to miss it.